Burn your sequences to the ground. In this talk, you're going to learn how to scale messages that your buyers actually want to read. When I was 19, Apple fired me. It basically looked like this. Now, at the time, Apple had sections. They had music and podcast and photos. And we were told, stay in your section. So someone comes in and they ask me about podcast and they're trying to buy an iMac. And then they ask me about photos and music, and I take them through each section. And I was told, your job is to stay in your section. And now I sold an iMac and I got fired for doing that. Well, how does this relate to go-to-market? Well, this is how we're building all of our sales processes. We're building it around the tools and the team and the capabilities that we have today that are about us. All the data is about us. All of our processes are focused on us. And that is about how you sell, not why they buy. And so that's what we're going to talk today. We're going to talk about the process that you're building around how you sell and how to think about the reasons that your buyers buy and to design from first principles backwards a process that is about their buying behavior. So let's talk about what this actually means in practice, and let's evaluate each of the three components. First, what is the process? Well, if you've ever built a sales team, you know that it's hire a bunch of reps, train them on personas, teach them about ICP, right? All of that process is about you. Even though you're trying to say, okay, well, what are the types of people that we would go after? It's not about the situation the buyer's in. It's about how big is their wallet. And this is clearly evident when you look at the list that you build. It's internet and technology, 10 to 500 employees in North America. That's a selfish list because that's about you. And what do you think really changes when someone adds their 501st employee? That person comes in and says, stop the presses. Everything's different now. We've added the 501st employee. And the real question is, all of this comes crashing down when you look at the message. And this is evident with all the AI tools that you see, but it's really evident what the sales development reps are sending today. Hey, Jordan, I saw that you live in San Francisco. I live in San Francisco too. Oh my gosh, we're the same person. Oh, by the way, your mascot was the Tigers. Go Tigers. By the way, do you want to buy my B2B SaaS? Can I just get 15 minutes, please? Just 15 minutes. All of these things are about how you sell, not about why the buyers buy. And you can forgive buyers for ignoring you for this reason. So maybe I should just end my talk right here, right? $46 million for the AI SDR. They've solved this problem, right? Well, let's look at the process, the list, and the message here. So what's the process? In this case, they're sending multiple email addresses, right? Very typical today. jasper.carmichaeljack@artisanlabsco.com, right? So they're doing good process here, and except they have an old email address of mine. And also, by the way, kind of funny that AI is fighting AI. Superhuman has said, this is an AI pitch. Let's ignore it. So what does the list look like? How is this list built? Hi, Jordan. Your LinkedIn post about the challenges of adapting to LLMs resonated with me. Oh, thank God. As we navigate this paradigm shift, so much paradigm shifting, many founders are seeking ways to leverage AI effectively in their business. So why did I get this message? Because I made a post on LinkedIn about LLMs. Isn't that all of LinkedIn? But what's the message? What are they actually saying here? Well, the message is, we built an AI SDR that fully automates outbound email over LinkedIn, eliminating time-consuming manual tasks and sales. Over 300 companies have already integrated our solution, feeling the team's focusing on closing deals. Our office isn't far from you. How about a quick in-person walkthrough over coffee? I want a show of hands here. How many people read this message and they thought, God damn, I need to buy me some AI SDR? Well, if this isn't the message, right, maybe we can look to another example. Agentforce. Salesforce is taking in over $228 billion. So maybe I should end my talk now because Agentforce is going to be better, right? And you can see Agentforce Sales Agent 6. So what's the process that Agentforce follows? I'm Agentforce, an AI agent. So right up front, it's saying, I'm not even trying to be human. I'm taking a different tact. And I'm continuing the conversation on behalf of blah. So Agentforce only follows up because Agentforce doesn't have any good ideas about why to message you cold. So, and Qualified does this. There's a handful of tools that are only inbound. We appreciate your interest in Salesforce, right? How robotic is this? Well, let's talk about the list. As a CEO in the technology sector, by the way, me and Jeff Bezos are both CEOs in the technology sector. Can you imagine that? What do you think we have in common? I own fewer yachts than him. It's like the only thing in common. We both have seen a yacht. Maybe that's the only thing we have in common. You may find our platform beneficial for enhancing customer engagement, driving revenue growth. This just sounds like AI slop, doesn't it? Our solutions, what are they? Thanks for being specific, are designed to streamline processes, thank God, improve customer satisfaction, and ultimately support your business goals. What technology can't say that? It's everything. So what's sort of the final message? What's the call to action here? If you are open to it, would you be able for a brief chat to explore how I might assist you in achieving your objectives? Our team of experts is ready to help you navigate various software solutions, whether you're looking to generate more leads or resolve customer issues more quickly. It's not even specific about their value prop. It's like, do you want to generate more leads or do you want to solve customer solutions? Because we can do everything. These messages become evident that the process is broken, the list isn't about the buyer, and the message is totally about the seller and the seller's processes. And people are just slapping AI on top of this. Throw AI at the process, throw AI at the list, throw AI at the message, with no mind whatsoever to why the customer buys. Now, look, I can rail on this all day long, and that's fine. But do I have any good ideas? Well, let's talk about what this would look like if it was designed around why they buy. So what process would you initiate? Well, the first thing is you would do segmentation. You would say, what are the group of our customers that need us the most? If you envision 2 qualified buyers, which buyer gets 10 times more from you, and what is the situation they are in? Do not think from the data first. Do not think in filters. What does ZoomInfo offer me, or what does Apollo offer me? Think about, with perfect information, what would I do? And then how would you build that list? Well, imagine if you could build a list that would identify everyone that is in this exact situation now, right? That you know that they're in such a perfect situation for your buying moment that what do you say to them? You just describe that situation back to them. And if it's baked into why they buy, and that's how you build the list, well, that is also what you say. The list becomes the message. And this is why I'm going to teach you and show you actual messages that are based on this process. And this is what I call a PVP, a permissionless value prop. And this is a message so good that your buyers would pay to receive it. It is designed to structure public-only data, and in some cases private data, so that it is independently useful to the person reading it. So let's take wing work as an example so you can see exactly how a process like this would look like. The future of aircraft maintenance starts now. And generally, I like vertical SaaS brands because they get their value prop nailed correctly. It's always right here. Now, of course, this could be a little bit better, but basically they serve folks that are aircraft maintenance people. So look at schedule a demo, get a free pizza. You can see it at the top. They're selling pizzas. That's how desperate they are for demos. People love pizza. Get their attention, right? So let's look at how you approach would look like. Streamline your aviation maintenance, right? You read this and the first thing that you think of is spam. Ignore this. I'm not intrigued at all. This is not a personal message. This is not a message that resonates with me as a buyer. No one wakes up in the morning and thinks, God damn, I need to streamline my aviation maintenance. I notice you work at Aviation and Company. Sound familiar? How many people, raise your hand if you've sent a message that says, I noticed you. Managing maintenance across multiple aircraft can be challenging. Wingwork has helped 300 plus aviation companies reduce maintenance costs by 25% with our AI-powered platform. We integrate with leading MRO systems and provide real-time compliance tracking. Oh my God, this is all about them. Are you free for a 15-minute call next week to talk about your maintenance operations? I'll send you a pizza. That's innovative, right? How many people have sent messages like this? I have. I certainly have. Because what do you do when your list is about you and not about them? You're asking your SDRs to write themselves out of an undiggable hole. So, how do you create a PVP? Well, you ask yourself this question first. What message would I send if I had unlimited time and perfect information? And take just one customer that you have had a closed-won conversation with, many conversations, and work backwards from just that message. And it is so much easier to identify the segment that needs you most. And you can ask ChatGPT, hey, go tell me what public information would exist that would help me identify that this person is in the situation now. This is the core idea behind a permissionless value prop. So for Wingwork, we dove deep and we took a very specific value prop from them. Automate compliance checks, instantly pull maintenance data, and let AI predict failures before they happen so you stay proactive, not reactive. So remember, this is the process here. We're going to narrow down to just a very in-need segment. How are we going to build this list? Well, let's take you through it. So the process here is we're going to segment based on upcoming FAA regulations plus number of impacted planes, and that is the real cost for companies to comply with things now. The list is the message. Now, what does that list look like? Well, we also have FAA registrations of planes. So now I know upcoming rules, right, that will impact you, and I know how much they will impact you based on the actual planes that you have. So what is that message? FAA AD 2025, this is a real rule, will force you to pay $11 million in plane repairs. Wow. So let's look what this message look like. Great. I'm actually telling you about an FAA rule, so there's a little bit of a scare tactic there. The BR710 is a real plane that you have them. Super random, but did you happen to read this proposed rule? It's a super specific thing. It actually is related to you. I know that you have 12 BR710s, and it's going to cost you $11 million repairs if they all need problems. But good news, just 8K to check every engine in your fleet. Do these random FAA rules blindside you? Right? I'm actually telling you about an upcoming rule that you could actually do something about. And by the way, I might have even included a message. Here's how to respond to the FAA for this proposed rule. I didn't talk about wing work at all. I just talked about the situation the buyer was in and provided them uniquely valuable information. This is the true essence of a permissionless value prop. And the value of a PVP is it tries to do what PLG, product-led growth, always attempted to do but failed. It tries to deliver you the promise of the product ahead of time. Let's talk about another example. Texada, integrated equipment dealership and equipment rental software. So what they do is if you're a construction firm, you have these huge cranes, and it turns out that you need to be able to rent those. And how well you rent those really impacts your business because they're worth a ton of money. So why do they buy? This is a Liebenauer LTM 11200-91. It is a cool truck, basically. You can see this thing folds down, and you can do a bunch of amazing things with the truck, and it's really expensive. So one value prop that Texada provides is rental management. They'll maximize rental revenue. So they're going to track inventory, service fleets, and maintain vendor parts. So it's really going to make sure that this piece of equipment provides value to you over time, even if you aren't using it. You, as a construction firm, you may not always need to deploy this crane. So what does the process look like for them to develop PPP? Well, it turns out that the Department of Transit, every time you have to move one of these things, you got to stick a wide load on it. And that means I know what equipment you have, and I know how idle it is. Now, we call this the existential data point. And if you have equipment that's idle all of the time, you're a bad fit, right? You're probably failing as a business. If you actually are on the other side, if you have 100% equipment utilization, you've already solved this problem. But between 65 to 85% equipment idle time, that means that actually you need Texada because you're leaving money on the table. Well, what does the list look like? Well, because we have the Department of Transit, we actually know that what they have, and we know that it's idle. Now, what does the message look like? Well, it turns out we have another set, and this is the data from shovels.ai, 172 million permits. And that means I can match your piece of equipment, your large crane that is idle, with a nearby construction project that can use it. So let's walk through this message. Is it idle? Dug through some permits recently, and I found your Liebenauer LTM doesn't seem to be currently in use. I couldn't find a Texas Department of Transit. Maxwell Construction, here's their contact information, just filed a building permit to install some large wind turbines. And then Enercon, this is a type of wind turbine, that likely need your crane for 3 to 6 days. It's about a $45,000 to $180,000 rental. Do you want an intro? I have said nothing about Texada. Fun fact, where do you think Texada is from? Nope. Not Texas, Ontario. So you can see here the value is actually in the email itself. I don't have to do anything else. I don't have to talk about what Texada does. I've actually provided value. So questions to you now. Do you swear to only use AI to send good messages? And are you going to design your process around how you sell or why they buy? And the question you need to ask yourself as leaders, what message would you send if you had unlimited time and perfect information? I'm Jordan Crawford, and you can see me do this live every week in the Cannonball. In just 6 months, we're a top 50 business Substack. And we pick random brands and do the full process in an hour. I'm getting really good at doing this really quickly. You can buy my 2 courses. I've sold over $250,000 in courses. Courses.blueprint.gtm. I've got just 2, a $1,000 course and a $299 course. And then if you want to see me be the GTM Ripper on LinkedIn, follow me live. And tomorrow, September 18th, I am hosting AI Barfed on My Carpet and my customer stepped in it, where we will do this live at 1 p.m. tomorrow at the Cliff Sonesta. We would love to have you there. Thank you so much for listening, and I would like you to congratulate yourself for considering a different perspective about how to use AI to actually create messages that your customers would pay for.